This is our COSI trip on February 22nd. Our first stop was the electric show.
8, 4, 5.
Our next stop was space. The question we all wonder about. The kids got to play inside of a space shuttle. This is Samuel with the space suit. The kids got to see how much a bowling ball weighed on each planet. This is the moon. Thrill seekers only. We wouldn't do this.
Samuel, come here. Samuel.
Yeah.
You nervous?
Yeah.
Are you gonna chicken out?
No.
Are you sure?
Okay, on this ride, Samuel got strapped into the unicycle. Right there, you can see they're strapping him in and putting it and sending him out. He got to go he was 2 stories high, and he had to go across this whole tightrope there. There's no like ropes on the side of him or in front or back of him. He's strapped into that chair with nothing else. Like there's no rope to pull him back if he gets scared or anything. So when the kids go out there, they get coached by the guy running the exhibit, and he sits there and he's joking with them, and he's telling them how much farther they have to go, and he keeps the kids' minds occupied, and they don't ever seem to get very nervous. And then towards the end, he'll ask them if they'll wave with one hand and then both hands, and Samuel never took his hands off of the bar, so he was a little scared, but he made it. Michael looks up at the end and says, "He didn't die." Okay, this is the frogs exhibit, and as you guys all know, Michael loves frogs. He has 3 tree frogs, so he insisted on taking pictures in front of all these big frog mural walls. This is just a quote by Kermit the Frog that I liked, so I took a picture of it. This is the oceans part of the Science Center, and this picture doesn't do it justice. It's a really, really beautiful place when you walk inside here. The kids got to stand behind these water pistols and shoot them at this huge statue. That's the statue right there. It's a lot prettier than the picture makes it look. And this was the kids playing with these these balls, making them shoot up. That's Michael's reaction the minute it went up in the air. These tubes are connected to little spouts of water, and they were just trying to make like a fountain there. Michael was soaking wet. Justin was trying to make noise, like a sound with the jar in the water. This is ocean sounds that the kids are listening to. The kids were just playing with the lights in the water. They're making waves here like in the ocean, so that you can learn how the ocean works. The kids got to go down in this submarine. There they are. The kids could control the diver that was in that tube there, that tiny little diver. Inside this building was like a bunch of buttons and stuff, what the inside of subs looked like. Justin couldn't fit. The kids insisted on this picture when we were leaving the oceans area. This was the mezzanine. It's like the little floor that's in between the first and second floors. The kids were able to take this hot air balloon and lift it. There they are right behind it, trying to get it up in the air higher. The kids could control this dinosaur. Michael loved it because he just learned about dinosaurs. This is just goofing off with the statue. Me and Justin recreating the original painting. This was just a really neat thing to do and play with your voices and distort your voices. There's me and Samuel. Me and Michael. The medical world was really neat. We couldn't see a lot of it because it had a lot of fetuses and that kind of information that the kids didn't need to read, but the x-ray part was really cool, where it shows like the pins in this guy's foot, the conjoined twins, and then it shows this guy that swallowed a quarter. You can see it up inside of his throat. And this area where the kids could play the piano and make like a song with bodily noises. It was actually really, really disgusting to hear it. So here it goes.
Okay, wait. Michael, wait. Let me try.
The time travel part was really neat. The kids were able to go from 1898 to 1962. This was the street of 1898. This was the cash register in 1898. The phone, and it told, when you called it, it would tell you the history of the phone. This was like the toys that kids played with there, with the making it roll with the sticks. Michael couldn't get his up. This was the car in 1898. And that's me behind the camera in 1898. This is the street of 1962, and the change. That's the little machine that the kids ride in for the quarter. Michael's too big for it. The car of 1962. The hula hoop, the toy changes between 1898 and 1962. Michael on the bike. Gadgets was the hands-on floor where the kids could play with a bunch of hands-on stuff. This was like a little brain exhibit where they would like spin this wheel and they'd make this fan shoot up in the air and then come back down, and the kids just kept on playing with that, shooting it up and down. Samuel was getting bored. He wanted to go somewhere else right there. This was the kids sitting on something when you walked in the door. I'm not exactly sure what it is. This is the kids building with erector sets. This is a pulley thing where the kids could sit in a chair and pull themselves up real high, but they had to pull their own body weight, so it was kind of hard. This is the kids throwing balls into this big machine. Michael stayed here for the longest time. He kept on picking these balls up and throwing them, and he could do this for days, and he was having a hard time getting the balls to go into the machines because the air was blowing all over the place. There was kids running everywhere, kids grabbing balls, and it was very, very chaotic in that area. But he was persistent. He kept throwing balls in there, trying to get them to shoot up into the big machine, and we were there forever. I cut the sound out of this though because it was so loud in there. Michael has to touch this no matter where we go. This is Michael trying to get the gears to all spin together. This was a really neat thing where they could take these bars and put them on the TV. I don't know if it's magnetic or what, but it'll like distort your face. They can pull their cheek out or their forehead up and down, and they had another one that was with colors. It was this really, really neat thing that Michael liked to play with. This was a challenge that they set up in the bottom floor. It was a contest where they gave you a bucket with a bunch of materials that you were allowed to use and tape, and whoever could build the ramp to shoot the marble the farthest got their name on the board. And so they tried that, and Samuel and Michael got 10 inches higher than the second place there, so they won. This was the TV station. Kids didn't really care for this area too much. It was for older kids, but they did go behind this screen and look at themselves on TV and goof around with that for a minute, but they were getting bored and tired because it was a long day and we were all ready to go home and eat some dinner, and that's why they've got candy in their mouth, because they were starving to death. I think this is funny because Michael keeps reaching out and trying to do things that wasn't working. This was a giant light bright that they had in the lobby area. It was just really neat, I thought. That's it. The end.